Hi Pisces, welcome back to Wandering Magic. A little bit of Palo Santo for you. I feel like you might need it right now. This is going to be your May 2026 message, and it's going to be for Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. All right, let's jump right into it, right? This is what we do. This is what we do. Message in a bottle is your oracle message. It's card number 15. And 15 is about, well, 1 plus 5 is 6. And this is about stability trying to return back in your life. Now, if we're looking at the depiction on this card, these waters are very calm, very serene. And the water, first of all, there's a telephone in the bottle. And then there's this stork grabbing the bottle out of the water. And so what I'm getting with this is Spirit is trying to communicate with you, but they can't, like you can't hear them right now. There's a message that's trying to be relayed and you're kind of like overlooking it. So it could be a song on the radio or a random feather that you found or a coin on the floor. It could be, it kind of feels like your intuition is off. Little sneak peek, the Empress came out in reverse. It could have a little bit to do with that, but we'll move on. There's something that you know that you're doing that you shouldn't be doing. You got family room and bad health for your tarot cards. Card 31 and 21. There's a situation at home that is stressing you out, or an aspect of home, like not having quite a steady place to live, or when you look around home, there's like something missing kind of thing. Something like that. What it feels more like is it feels like you are making yourself sick. Can I just say, it feels like you're making yourself sick because there's an aspect of your life that is wreaking havoc on you. And so what do I mean by that? Well, it could be a couple things. So it's not to say that you're not trying, but there's an underlining message here that you're not supposed to be doing something, but you're doing it. It's kind of like you know better, but you're not doing better. Does that make sense? When I say that you're making yourself sick, this might get, I'm gonna surface level this one a little bit. Any ailments that we have are self-inflicted. I don't care what it is. People want to say it's generational. People want to say it's, what do you call that? Hereditary. But the reality is, you might inherit something, sure. But we are not our parents. We are not our grandparents. And so what happened to them, when it happened, how it happened, doesn't mean that that is your fate. It doesn't mean that at all. If you are telling yourself that, oh, my parent had this, so I'm going to get it, then you will. Because that's what you put out there and you asked for it, essentially. But you do not have to make that your reality. If you are ingesting something, drinking something, eating something that is not good for you, you are inflicting that. You're self-inflicting. You're doing that to yourself. If you are not properly nourishing yourself, therein lies the issue. So what are you going to do about it? it seems like the change that needs to be made is at home. I'm not really getting like anything else except the change starts at home. However you see fit. The tarot messages are the Ace of Wands in reverse, the King of Swords also in reverse, and the Empress. She's in reverse. Now, what I'm getting with this, you're not really putting the energy, you're not using your energy in the best capacity. And it seems like it might have to do with the way you're thinking. You're not thinking about things in the bigger light. You're looking at things very microscopically. It's like you I don't even want to say microscopically, kinda, because you are like zeroed in on something instead of looking at it like as a whole, right? Kind of like, oh my gosh, I don't know why this just came up. But I kind of this kind of freaks me out because I do love fermented food. But it's kind of like if you see, you know, a fermented food like kimchi, sauerkraut, or even sourdough, right? You look at it on the surface and it looks fine, it looks delicious, it tastes good. But if you were to look at that under a microscope, you'd only see the live bacteria on it. And so not really understanding the whole picture of this fermented food is kind of mirroring what is inside your gut microbiome that is going to essentially be good for you in the long run and have everything operating in its entirety. Which kind of brings me back to this bad health thing. I'm getting something in the torso area. Let me just say, something in the torso area, which is all your major organs, and, you know, it could be your tummy, but regardless, and also the wand is in reverse because it could be something in your digestion as well. And it's not to say that, never mind, we're not going to get super into that. What I'm going to say is, I used this analogy and I forgot where I was going with this. All right, let me focus back in. You need to figure out how to self-motivate, and you need to figure out how to, you feel disconnected from your mind and your body. And it's kind of like you are on this hamster wheel where you're just kind of chugging along and things are just kind of like going and going. But you know that something doesn't feel quite aligned, and there's an aspect of self-care that's being neglected here. And it kind of feels better to disassociate however it is that you're doing it. It feels better to do that than to face what's actually in front of you. Something left you feeling a little flat, very disappointed. But what's happening is you're developing a bad habit as a result of it. As I say, and I say this with love, Pisces, but a lot of Pisces that I know love to drink, and hey, we're human. It's a thing. But what I want to say is, if we're developing this into a bad habit, that can also lead to bad health. And I don't want this to come off scary or anything like that. It's more of a check yourself kind of thing. So just take it how it resonates. It doesn't have to be that, but it could be anything that is becoming a bad habit. Maybe you're becoming messy. Maybe you're starting to do something that is not really for your best and greatest good. Fill in the blank of what that could be. And really take a moment to reflect on life and what it looks like right now, and say, okay, where am I not really taking the control that I need to? Where are the areas that I really need to say, I got this. This spun out a little bit, but I'm gonna bring it back to center, and I'm gonna refocus my efforts, and I'm really going to actively take that role. I'm going to be in the role of sovereignty. I'm going to be in the role where I take care of myself and things start to fall into place, and it's just going to be better for me in the long run. So that's going to be a very personal a very personal thing, and it's going to be a little bit different for everyone. So a year from now came out as your angel message, and this is not like this time next year. This is by the end of the year. So this is telling me that you still have time to really turn this around. Because if an ailment hasn't quite manifested for you, consider that a gift. It is more of a caution. If you continue to do what you're doing, things are not going to be so hot coming up. You just have to take care of yourself. And I'm getting more, you have to take care of your body. You have fairy dust, but that came out in reverse as your oracle message to close this out. And this means you're just kind of like breadcrumbing, like just a little bit. Like you're making efforts, and it's not to say that your efforts are not good enough. It's just simply to say they're not big enough. They're just like, again, I kind of brought back to that zeroing in. You're doing those small things, and maybe that's also why I kind of saw that microscope, because it's like it's so tiny that you need a microscope to see it. And so this is just to say, in the next couple months, not just in May, start to increase your efforts. So what I neglected to mention is that there's going to be a new moon in Gemini on May 16th. And that's about learning all over again, having new ideas, communicating differently, doing things brand new, and kind of like hitting the refresh button, expressing yourself creatively. So with that energy, take it and do something different. Do something new. You tried one thing, try something else. If you've been making one thing one way, try to make it with an extra something. You know what I mean? And really just try to push that up, because also Pluto goes retrograde on May 6th, and that talks about a very deep transformation. And there's a lot of buried fears there. So ask yourself too, what is it that you are hiding, maybe from yourself, but also from those around you? What is it that you are avoiding and not saying? And all these things are going to start resurfacing as time goes on, but definitely in May, we start to see these really start to surface. Okay. Hopefully you found this helpful. Watch your sun, moon, and rising for any additional messages, and I'll see you next time. Oh, if you want a personal reading, information down below. Take care. Bye.